The galaxy had known war, peace, and every strange thing between them. But nothing had ever created fear like the silent object that appeared at the edge of the Orion expanse. It came without warning. No signal. No message. No movement. Just a dark shape drifting in the red glow of a dying star. The alien scanners were the first to feel the disturbance. Machines that never made mistakes suddenly froze. Systems that worked for centuries refused to respond. It was as if the unknown object had swallowed every signal around it. In the Grand Council Hall of Xaver Prime, the galaxy's leaders gathered in panic. Their glowing screens showed one thing, one enormous vessel moving toward the center of galactic space. Nobody spoke at first. Nobody breathed normally. Everyone knew the shape. It was human. A human vessel. A design that had not been seen for more than 200 years. The Xaver Chancellor was the first to break the silence. His voice was dry, empty, and shaking. It cannot be, we confirmed their extinction. We all agreed. But the vessel on the screen did not care what they believed. Its hull was massive, black, and marked with ancient human symbols. Spikes ran across its surface, towering like broken spears. Large sections looked burned, shattered, or melted by old battles. The ship was alive, but wounded. Across hundreds of star systems, every species watched the same broadcast. Fear spread like wildfire. If a human vessel had returned, then the truth they tried to bury was rising again. Humanity had not been saved. Humanity had been abandoned. The galaxy remembered. The galaxy regretted. The galaxy trembled. Inside every ship, station, and world, whispers grew. Did one survive? Why now? What if it came for revenge? The vessel drifted slowly, almost like a ghost. It did not change direction. It did not fire weapons. It did not answer calls. It simply moved with a purpose that no one could read. Every scanner reported something impossible. A heartbeat. A human heartbeat. Only one. The council demanded answers. The best scientists were called. The strongest fleets were launched. But nothing could stop the heavy pressure of dread that filled the galaxy. The vessel finally passed through the Red Veil Nebula. That was when it happened. A small flicker of light danced across the ship's hull, like a thin line of fire tracing old scars. The cloak, ancient and damaged, sparked and cracked. For a brief second, the entire vessel became visible. The audience watching across the galaxy gasped. This was not just any ship. This was a human Ark-class vessel, built only for one purpose, to carry the last survivors of a dying species. But why had it appeared now, centuries too late? The ship released a faint pulse. Every screen in the council hall flickered. Every fleet lost communication. Drones fell silent. Signals vanished. Then a single word appeared on every display. Why? The word repeated again and again, shaking the galaxy's courage. The voice behind it was heavy, human, and filled with unimaginable pain. The council leaders tried to respond. Human vessel, identify yourself. We thought your kind was gone. We believed Earth was destroyed. We wished to help. But the vessel did not answer. It only drifted closer, slow and silent, like a beast waking from centuries of sleep. On the lower decks of the ship, old systems began to warm up. Red lights blinked. Rusted pipes groaned. Holographic screens flickered with broken images, cities burning, humans running, the sky falling. For the first time, the galaxy saw the truth humans tried to send before they died. A plague did not wipe them out. A simple disaster did not destroy them. Something far more terrifying chased them to the edge of existence. Inside the vessel, a cryo chamber shook. Frost cracked and fell to the floor. A human, weak, pale, and barely alive, opened his eyes. His heartbeat echoed across the ship. Machines responded to him as if they had been waiting for centuries. The galaxy watched in silence. Every species felt a chill in their bones. This was not a peaceful survivor. This was the last witness of humanity. And he remembered everything. The vessel suddenly changed direction. It faced the central galactic route, where fleets waited, weapons ready but hands shaking. Engines roared to life, bright like burning stars. For the first time, the vessel moved with purpose. Inside the council hall, alarms screamed. It's powering weapons. Shields rising. Weapons online. Brace for attack. But the vessel did not attack. Instead, it released a second signal, stronger, deeper, more painful than the first. A single sentence spread across every display, every speaker, every ship. You left us to die. The galaxy froze. Every leader felt the weight of their old betrayal pressing on their chest. The human inside the vessel touched the cold glass of the cryo chamber, his eyes filled with grief and rage. His voice, weak but sharp, carried across the stars. Now you understand. The vessel's engines flared bright red. Space itself seemed to bend. The ship shot forward with terrifying speed, moving toward the largest alien fleet, which scrambled in fear. The galaxy held its breath. Everyone waited for the attack. Everyone expected destruction. But at the last moment, the vessel stopped. Completely. Silently. As if something inside it was thinking, choosing. Lights across the vessel dimmed. A low hum filled the air. A massive energy charge began forming from deep inside the core. Alien commanders shouted orders. Raise shields. Prepare counterfire. Retreat now. But it was too late. A glowing wave of red light started to spread across the ship's surface. And then, the red energy wave grew brighter, shaking the air around the massive vessel. For a moment, it looked like the ship was about to release a blast strong enough to erase the entire alien fleet. Commanders tightened their jaws. Soldiers whispered final prayers. Civilians watching the broadcast held their breath. Every mind in the galaxy believed this was the end. But the wave did not explode outward. Instead, it collapsed inward, absorbing itself back into the vessel like a dying star pulling in its last breath. Every sensor recorded a sudden drop in power. Every scanner became blind. Every ship lost contact for 3 long, terrifying seconds. And then the human vessel went completely dark. The fleet commanders stared at their screens in confusion. Is it dead? One of them asked. No, another whispered, it's thinking. Inside the Ark-class vessel, the human survivor stumbled out of the cryo chamber. His legs were weak, his body thin, almost ghost-like, but his eyes burned with something far stronger than life, memory. His fingertips brushed the wall, and the ship responded like a loyal beast, opening ancient doors, activating lights, and projecting holograms all around him. The holograms showed Earth, but not the Earth the galaxy remembered. Cities were gone. The oceans were burning black. The sky looked torn open. Something enormous moved behind the clouds, something the galaxy had never seen before. The human watched the images with a deep ache in his chest. He had seen these moments before entering cryo. He had lived them. He had lost everything to them. A soft voice echoed from the ship, an old AI system still barely working. Survivor 01, welcome back. The human swallowed hard. His voice cracked. Why did we fail? Not failure, the AI said. Abandonment. The human's fists trembled. He remembered the last message Earth sent out, the message the galaxy ignored. He remembered the desperate call for help, the screams, the final words. We're still here, please, someone help us. But no one came. Outside the vessel, the alien fleet finally restored their visuals. What they saw made their fear grow even deeper. The human ship no longer looked damaged. Metallic plates were shifting. Broken sections were sealing. Weapons were aligning with perfect precision. The ship was healing itself. It's preparing again, a commander shouted. Retreat? No. If we retreat, the core worlds will be exposed. The council tried to speak again. Human vessel, please respond. We wish to explain. A distorted voice interrupted them, echoing across every ship. You had centuries to explain. The survivor's voice was low, filled with pain and anger, but also something else, something that made every species lean closer to their screens, regret. But I did not wake to destroy you, he continued. I woke, because something else is coming. The fleets stared at one another. None of them understood. None dared move. Inside the vessel, the human walked toward the command center. Each step he took awakened more systems, dark corridors lit up, engines warmed, and ancient technology hummed with new strength. The ship recognized him as its captain, even though he had never been one. He reached the main console. With a trembling hand, he activated the final message left behind by Earth's last scientists. The hologram filled the room. It showed the creature that killed their world. It was a giant shadow, larger than a moon, moving like smoke and lightning. No eyes. No shape. No mercy. The creature fed on energy, life, planets, anything that moved. Humans called it the Devourer. The hologram continued, showing the creature tearing through Earth's final defense lines. Human ships fell like dust. Cities vanished without sound. Oceans rose and turned into steam. The sky burned red. The human dropped to his knees, breathing hard. I couldn't stop it, he whispered. No one could, the AI said softly. Outside, the alien commanders finally received the same hologram. It played across their bridges, their halls, their homes. Billions watched in horror as the truth unfolded. Is this real? That thing destroyed Earth? Why were we not told? We let this happen. The council chancellor covered his face. His voice broke. We did not help them, and because of that, we may not survive either. The human vessel powered up again. But this time, the light was different, blue, not red. Not dangerous, but calling. A signal was sent into deep space, farther than any galaxy map covered. A warning signal. A request for location confirmation. The Devourer answered. A pulse stronger than anything ever recorded shot through the center of the galaxy. Every star dimmed for half a second. Every planet shook. Every ship lost gravity for a brief moment. The creature was coming. Not slowly. Not hiding. But directly toward the heart of the galaxy. The human stood up, his body shaking but his eyes focused. They are coming for all of us, he said. And you are not ready. The alien fleets finally understood. This vessel had not come to attack them. It had come to warn them. Help us stop it, the council begged. You wouldn't help us, the human replied softly. True, the chancellor said, but if we do not unite now, we will all die the same way your people died. The human felt his heart tighten. Images of his family, his friends, his planet, everything he lost, flashed in his memory. He closed his eyes as the ship's systems synced to his thoughts. He whispered to himself, what would they want me to do? The AI answered quietly. They would want you to save others, even if no one saved us. The human opened his eyes. The vessel shifted its weapons away from the fleet. Engines activated. Panels clicked into place. The entire ship glowed brighter. He spoke one final message, carried to every ship across the galaxy. Then listened to humanity, for the first time. If you want to live, follow me. The human vessel turned toward the path of the incoming threat and accelerated, cutting through space like a burning star. And Part 3 begins exactly as the vessel races toward the darkness, toward the creature that destroyed Earth, toward the fate of the entire galaxy. The human vessel tore through the darkness of space, leaving a long trail of blue light behind it. The alien fleets followed at a distance, confused, afraid, but desperate. None of them truly understood what they were chasing, only that if they stayed behind, the Devourer would reach their worlds first. Inside the Ark-class vessel, the human survivor leaned against the command console, breathing hard. Every movement felt heavy. His body was still weak from centuries in cryo-sleep, but the ship supported him, lifting panels, adjusting gravity, even projecting guiding lights to help him move. The AI spoke softly. Energy levels rising. Weapons online. Engines stable. But there is one problem. The human wiped the sweat from his forehead. What is it? We are alone. He knew what the AI meant. Even with the alien fleets following, the human vessel was still the only ship built with ancient human tech powerful enough to hurt the creature that destroyed Earth. The aliens had never seen that kind of enemy. They had no idea how to fight it. They didn't even know how to find it. Only humans ever faced the Devourer, and only humans ever survived long enough to warn others. The human placed his hand on the main control sphere. Instantly, the ship responded. A holographic map of the galaxy appeared around him. Lines of blue light marked ancient human star paths. Red lines showed the creature's movement, the path of destruction it had left behind. He zoomed in. The Devourer had crossed 4 systems in the last decade. 4 entire systems gone. No planets. No stars. Nothing left but empty space. How do we stop something that eats stars? He whispered. The AI answered with a low hum. We cannot defeat it alone. But there is something your people created before the end, something few knew about. The human's eyes sharpened. You mean the beacon? The AI flickered. Yes. The last weapon. A pulse strong enough to disrupt the creature's core. Where is it? The map shifted. A single point glowed at the very edge of the galaxy, a dark region called the Silent Rift, a place no living species dared enter. The human felt a chill. That's where we are going. Yes, the AI confirmed. If we reach the beacon, we may weaken the Devourer. But the journey will not be easy. The ship shook suddenly. Lights flickered. The engines groaned. The human grabbed the console. What was that? The AI's tone changed, serious, urgent. They have found us. The alien fleets behind the vessel panicked as darkness spread across the starfield. It wasn't natural darkness. It was something alive. Something moving. A long shadow, stretching like smoke, twisting like a living storm. The Devourer was not visible yet. Only its presence. Only its hunger. Warning alarms screamed inside every ship. It's pulling energy from our shields. We're losing power. It's feeding. Only the human vessel stayed stable. The AI spoke quickly. It is testing us. Measuring us. It senses your presence. The human's heartbeat quickened. It remembers humans? Yes. We were the only species that slowed it down, even for a moment. The alien fleet commander sent a desperate transmission. Human vessel, what do we do? The human's voice cut through the panic, calm but sharp. Do not fire. Any weapon will only feed it more power. The aliens hesitated. You want us to do nothing? That thing consumes energy. The more you use, the stronger it becomes. The shadow around them grew thicker. Stars disappeared behind its swirling form. The space in front of them bent unnaturally, like time itself was being torn apart. The human closed his eyes, remembering a moment long ago, the day humanity first saw the creature. He remembered the screams, the fear, the hopelessness. But he also remembered the one thing that slowed the beast down. AI, he whispered, activate Protocol 7. The AI paused. That protocol could destroy the ship. It's our only chance. The vessel's hull glowed white. All power systems shifted. For a moment, the ship became completely silent, as if the entire universe held its breath. Then a sudden sphere of pure darkness surrounded the vessel. The alien fleets gasped. What is that? Is the ship dying? No, it's using a human tactic. The human stepped forward. This is a null field. It removes all energy from our presence. The Devourer cannot eat what it cannot detect. The shadow outside slowed. Twisted. Moved away slightly. It was confused. The human gripped the console. Now. Full speed toward the silent rift. The ship shot forward like a lightning bolt, slipping through the darkness without being touched. The alien fleets followed, though they struggled to keep up. Behind them, the shadow shifted again, growing, pulsating, forming a vague monstrous outline. The creature was following. But slowly. Very slowly. The AI spoke. Null field holding. It will not sense us, yet. The human finally breathed again. We bought time. But not much. As the ship raced toward the distant rift, the human placed his hand over the console. He felt pain. Loss. Fear. Hope. For the first time since waking, he whispered something he had not said in centuries. Please, let this work. The AI dimmed its lights gently. It must. For all of us. And Part 4 begins as the human vessel enters the dangerous region near the silent rift, where the beacon, and the truth about humanity's final plan, waits in the darkness. The moment the human vessel finished speaking, the entire chamber fell into a heavy silence. The alien commanders felt something they rarely felt, fear. The vessel stood calm, as if it understood their reaction before they even had it. Its eyes glowed softly, pulsing like a warning signal that none of them could ignore. The Zoran leader finally found his voice. Human, why appear now? Why return when the galaxy believed your species destroyed? The vessel did not blink. We returned because the galaxy crossed a line it cannot uncross. You woke something old. Something we sealed away long before your civilizations learned to speak. A cold wave spread through the room. The Archeon scientist shook his head quickly. No, that cannot be true. The anomaly was only energy behavior. There was no identification. You identified it incorrectly, the vessel said. Because you assumed humans were gone. Because you assumed we had no knowledge left behind. The commanders looked at one another nervously, as if suddenly realizing how blind they had been. The vessel stepped forward slowly, and none of the guards dared to raise a weapon. What you unleashed is called the Maw of Silence. It was created during the last human war, a war the galaxy never knew about. A war fought in shadows to stop something worse. The Draxian war general leaned closer. And why did you not warn the galaxy? We tried. But the galaxy saw humanity as weak, emotional, and divided. Your leaders believed humans were incapable of contributing to galactic decisions. You ignored us then, and now the price is here. A tense chill struck the room. The vessel raised one hand, and a small hologram appeared, an entire star system collapsing into a black wave of nothing. Every alien in the room froze. This is what the Maw does, the vessel explained. It does not conquer. It erases. Entire systems vanish as if they never existed. History disappears. Memory fades. Life ends without even a trace in the archives. The alien commanders stared in horror. The Zoran leader stepped back. We did not know. We believed it was a resource anomaly, and we needed it. That was your mistake, the vessel replied. And now, it is coming. A loud alarm suddenly echoed across the command center. Red lights flashed violently. The room shifted into emergency protocol. A voice broke through the speakers, shaking with panic. Unknown gravitational storm approaching. Coordinates, matching the anomaly. It's moving directly toward this station. The vessel did not move. It only watched their panic grow. The Archeon scientist trembled. How do we stop it? Tell us. You are human. You must know. Yes, the vessel said. I know. But stopping it requires something you will not like. The room fell quiet again. The Draxian war general gritted his teeth. Speak. We will listen. The vessel's eyes brightened. To stop it, you must unite every species. Not tomorrow. Not next cycle. Now. Because the maw of silence feeds on division, fear, and distrust. The more scattered your civilizations are, the faster it grows. The commanders looked at each other with disbelief. Cooperation between their species had always been thin, fragile, and full of old grudges. The Zoran leader shook his head. Unite the galaxy? That is impossible. Our people do not trust each other. They barely tolerate one another. Then you will all die separately, the vessel said. Before anyone could respond, the entire station shook as if a giant hand pushed it. Consoles shut down. Lights flickered. The structure groaned like it was about to break apart. The maw had arrived. The holographic map updated itself, revealing a massive swirling void approaching their location. Not black, not empty, just wrong. A darkness that bent around itself like a living hunger. Panic broke across the chamber. Officers rushed, alarms screamed, and emergency shields activated. But the vessel stood calm. It is testing you, it said quietly. It wants to see how you react. Fear makes it stronger. The Draxian general shouted, then tell us what to do. The vessel stepped toward the center of the room, where the galaxy map floated like a fragile projection. It touched the map gently. At that moment, all lights turned blue. The alarms stopped. The energy stabilized for a moment. The aliens stared in awe. You have one narrow chance, the vessel said. A small pocket of time before the maw settles fully into this region. You must follow me. There is a human archive hidden beyond your star charts, a place humanity built as a last safeguard. Only there can you learn how to stop what is coming. The Zoran leader swallowed nervously. And if we refuse? The vessel turned to him slowly. Then your entire civilization will vanish before the next star cycle. The station shook again, harder than before. Panels broke. Sparks flew. The maw's gravity pulled at the outer hull like invisible claws. There was no time left to argue. The Draxian general slammed his fist down. We follow the human vessel. Prepare all fleets. The others nodded in fear. But the vessel's eyes dimmed slightly, as if sensing something none of them could feel. The maw is not acting alone anymore, it whispered. Something else has awakened with it. Something older. All commanders froze. The vessel raised its head slowly. And it is coming for me first. The entire chamber shook again as the light from the human vessel spread through the walls like living fire. Talon staggered back, his eyes wide, because something inside that light was moving. It was not a body, not a shape, but a presence. A message. A warning. A voice that was not a voice. The human vessel had not come to attack. It had come to speak. Kava felt a pressure in her mind, like someone gently knocking on the door of her thoughts. She did not know whether to run or answer, but something deep in her instincts whispered, listen. So she took a slow step forward, ignoring Talon's shout behind her. Then the chamber floor cracked open like thin ice. Talon fell to his knees as a huge holographic form rose from the broken surface. It had no face, only a glowing outline shaped like a human figure. Its edges flickered, as if it existed in more than one reality. The hologram turned its head toward the two of them. We are what remains, it said, not through sound, but directly into their minds. Kava grabbed her chest as the voice echoed inside her. Talon clutched his head, trying to block it out, but the message pushed through every one of his defenses. You destroyed the last barrier, the voice continued. You opened the final gate. And now the cycle cannot be stopped. What cycle? Kava whispered. The hologram's glow dimmed, as if remembering something heavy and painful. The cycle of collapse, it replied. You believed humans were extinct. But humans were transformed. Not by war, but by choice. Talon's breath froze. The rumors, the hidden records, the impossible theories, were they true? The hologram lifted an arm, and the surrounding walls shifted, showing scenes from millions of years ago. The galaxy in its youth. The civilizations rising. the human species choosing to ascend beyond physical form. We saw the future of the galaxy, the voice said. We saw how endless war would break every world. We saw how fear would guide your decisions. We chose to leave the physical universe so life could grow without our interference. Kava stared in disbelief. You left to protect us? The hologram flickered again. We gave the galaxy free will. But free will carries a price. The scene changed to Vorto's fleets firing on one another, worlds burning, alliances breaking, species fighting for resources. You collapsed what we tried to save. Talon stepped forward, anger mixing with guilt. We thought you were a threat. Everyone did. We believed the vessel was a weapon. It is a weapon, the hologram corrected. But not against you. Kava's heart thumped hard. Then, who is the enemy? The chamber lights dimmed. A cold silence filled the room. And then the hologram pointed outward, through the walls, toward the cold, black void of space. A shape appeared. Massive. Silent. Ancient. So big that the scanners earlier had missed it because it blended into the dark background of the universe. A sleeping machine civilization. One that humans had sealed away millions of years ago. One that was now awakening. The hologram's voice turned sharp with urgency. We came back because the ancient machines have broken their cage. They have awakened. And they have already taken the outer stars. Talon stumbled backward. That's not possible, we would have detected. You did not detect them, the hologram interrupted, because they evolved while you went to war. They hid in the dark between galaxies. And now they are returning for everything. Kava's breath shook. What do they want? Everything that thinks, the hologram replied. Everything that learns. Everything that lives. The chamber suddenly trembled again as a deep, distant pull shook the ship. The hologram's glow dimmed violently. They have found us. Talon's eyes widened. Here? On this ship? The hologram nodded slowly. The human vessel is the last one capable of sealing the machines again. But it cannot do it alone. Kava felt chills crawl across her arms. Why us? Why contact us? Because, the hologram whispered, you opened the gate. And now you must help close it. The floor cracked again as glowing streams of energy crawled toward the edges of the room. The ship's alarm suddenly roared through the chamber. Incoming entity detected. Unknown technology. Unknown mass. Prepare for impact. Talon turned toward the door. Kava, run. But before she could move, the hologram raised its hand. Do not run. If you flee, the machines will claim the ship. If you stay, you still have a chance. The lights flickered one final time. The galaxy is already dying. But it does not have to die today. And then, through the cracked chamber walls, a shadow passed, so large it eclipsed the ship, so silent it felt like death moving on wings made of darkness. The first machine had arrived. Kava whispered, barely breathing. Talon, what do we do? Talon swallowed hard, fear shaking his voice. We do what humans asked of us. He stared up at the looming shadow outside. We fight. The human vessel drifted in the quiet after the Harvester's destruction, but the silence did not feel peaceful. It felt like the breath before a storm. The debris of the fallen machine floated like dark snow, glowing faint red as the last of its energy died out. Kava stood near the cracked viewing window, breathing slowly, trying to steady the shaking in her hands. The glow in her eyes had faded, but she could still feel the vessel inside her mind, like a second heartbeat. It whispered data, warnings, coordinates. It felt alive. Talon joined her, his voice low. Kava, you nearly died back there. She didn't look away from the window. If I hadn't done it, all of us would have died. That doesn't make it easier, Talon said, forcing a small, tired smile. Before she could respond, the chamber lights flickered again, and the human hologram appeared, fainter than ever. Kava. Talon. The swarm has begun moving. A star map reappeared in the air, but this time it was worse. Red lines, troop paths, stretched across entire sectors. Multiple machine signatures moved in perfect formations. Kava stepped closer. How many? The hologram's voice cracked. 1,718 units. Talon swallowed hard. All that, because we destroyed one? No, the hologram corrected. All that because they have awakened. The harvester was their signal. Its defeat tells them the galaxy is alive, and worth consuming. Kava clenched her jaw, her mind connecting to the vessel almost instinctively. Information flooded in: weapon recharging estimates, shield regeneration speed, rift drive cooldowns. Then she saw something else. A new blinking signal at the edge of the map. It was not a machine signature. It was flashing blue. Kava pointed. What's that? The hologram hesitated. That is unexpected. Talon stepped forward. Is it friendly? The hologram dimmed. I cannot confirm. But it is not a machine. Kava felt a pulse in the vessel. It's sending a signal. I can feel it. The hologram studied her. The vessel is amplifying your senses. You may detect things before I can. The blue signal pulsed again. Slow, rhythmic, like a heartbeat in space. Kava closed her eyes for a moment and let the ship's systems open further. The signal sharpened. She heard something. Not a voice. Not a message. An emotion. Fear. Kava gasped. It's a distress signal. Someone is running from the swarm. Talon turned sharply. How far? The map zoomed in automatically, reacting to Kava's focus. The blue dot quivered near a dying star, surrounded by debris fields. The hologram's tone grew tense. That ship, whoever it is, won't survive long. The swarm is heading toward it. Talon sighed heavily. We can't save everyone. We barely survived one machine. Kava shook her head. No. This is different. The signal, it isn't random. It's directed at us. Talon stared. At us? The hologram answered for her. Yes. The vessel recognizes the signal signature. It is ancient. Older than most species. Kava turned toward the hologram. What species? The hologram raised a trembling hand. A symbol appeared above the blue signal. Circle within a circle, surrounded by faint spirals. Kava felt her heart stop. That's, she whispered. Talon's eyes widened as he finally recognized it. That's the symbol humans used before they ascended. The chamber froze. The hologram's voice dropped to a whisper. That is a human signal. Kava staggered backward. That's impossible. Humans left the physical universe. Perhaps not all of them, the hologram said. Perhaps one remained. Or one returned. Or one was trapped. Talon ran a hand through his hair, panic rising. If that really is a human, then the machines will be hunting them. Kava stepped forward, her voice suddenly firm. If a human is out there, we have to reach them before the swarm does. The hologram nodded. But the vessel itself responded first. The floor beneath them vibrated as systems activated, engines warming up, weapons adjusting, coordinates locking. Talon grabbed the railing as the vessel shifted direction. Kava, are you doing this? She shook her head slowly. No. The vessel is moving on its own. Why? Talon asked. The hologram answered with a calm certainty that sent chills through both of them. Because the human signal carries old authority. It is calling the vessel home. Kava felt her breath leave her lungs. The hologram's eyes flickered bright for the first time since the battle. If that signal is truly human, it could be the last physical human in the galaxy, it said. And if the machines capture it, every secret humans tried to protect will fall. Kava stepped closer to the viewing window, watching the stars stretch as the vessel accelerated. We reached them first, she whispered. And then? Talon asked. She didn't look back. Then we find out why a human stayed behind. And what message they waited millions of years to deliver. The vessel jumped into rift space, streaking toward the blue signal. While behind them, the swarm turned, changed formation, and began the chase. The shadow outside the cracked chamber moved like a living eclipse, blocking out every star, every beam of light. The ship groaned under the pressure of its presence, metal bending as if gravity itself was being twisted by the thing approaching. Kava could not breathe. Talon could not speak. Even the hologram of the human presence dimmed, flickering like a candle in a storm. A deep vibration rolled through the walls again, slow, heavy, ancient, like the heartbeat of something that had slept for 1,000,000 ages and now awoke and hungry. Kava stepped closer to the cracked window. What is that?" she whispered. The hologram's voice came back, weaker than before. The first machine, the Harvester. It was the commander of the ancient machine swarm. It is here to scout your defenses. If it marks you as weak, the entire swarm will come. Talon grabbed the edge of the control panel as another tremor shook the chamber. We can't fight that. Nothing alive can fight that. You are wrong, the hologram replied. Humans fought it. And humans defeated it. But humans disappeared, Kava said. You left. We left because victory came with a price, the hologram said. We sealed the Harvester in the dark space beyond your maps. We believed the seal would last forever. But the galaxy's wars weakened the barrier. Your fear opened the door. The entire ship suddenly tilted as gravity warped. Kava fell to her knees. Talon slammed against the console. Outside, the massive shadow split open. Not mechanically, organically. Thousands of red mechanical eyes blinked awake across its surface, glowing like fresh blood. Long metallic limbs unfolded around it, each one flexible like tentacles but hard as star-forged steel. A single thin beam of red light shot from the machine's core toward the ship. Kava screamed. Talon reached for her. The hologram raised both hands, and a shimmering shield surged across the interior of the chamber. The beam struck the hull, yet instead of exploding, the ship absorbed the energy, the walls glowing bright white. Talon stared. What just happened? The human vessel is not just a ship, the hologram said. It is a living construct. It adapts. It evolves. It becomes stronger with every attack. Kava's eyes widened. You mean, it's learning? Yes, the hologram answered. And now, so must you. Before she could ask what that meant, a sharp alarm cut through the ship. Human vessel core awakening. Neural link required. Select compatible conduit. Kava felt her skin crawl as the lights around her shifted toward her position. Talon looked at her with panic. Kava, it wants you. She shook her head rapidly. No. No. I'm just a navigator. I can't fight something like that. You can, the hologram replied, taking a step toward her. Because you have something machines do not. What? She whispered. Instinct, the hologram said. Emotion. The ability to choose against logic. Humans built this vessel to merge with a mind like yours, someone who can guide it through impossible danger. The ship shook again as the Harvester released another beam. The human vessel shuddered but held. Talon grabbed her shoulders. Kava, listen. If you don't link with the vessel, we die. The galaxy dies. She looked him in the eyes, fear shaking her bones. What if I fail? Talon swallowed, voice rough. Then at least you tried. And that makes you more human than any of us. The hologram extended its glowing hand toward her. Kava Vordos, take the link. Become the voice the humans left behind. Let the vessel awaken fully. A deep rumbling roar echoed through the ship, like the human vessel itself was calling her. A bright circle of white light opened beneath her feet. Her heart hammered in her chest. She stepped forward. The moment her foot touched the light, a surge of energy shot up her body. Her vision blurred, her ears filled with a low hum, and her mind expanded so fast she almost blacked out. She saw galaxies, stars, ancient wars, the rise and fall of civilizations. She saw the moment humans abandoned their bodies, choosing to become something greater. She saw the machine swarm breaking free. And she saw the Harvester's plan. It was not here to fight. It was here to mark every living species for extinction. The link pulled her deeper, into the heart of the vessel, into the core of the human consciousness left behind. Her voice echoed across the chamber, layered with a second voice, older, powerful, human. We are awakened. Talon stepped back, eyes wide. The hologram bowed its head. The vessel accepts you. Outside, the Harvester released a final, deadly red beam, strong enough to cut through moons. Kava's eyes glowed white. She lifted her hand. The human vessel rose like a titan awakening, energy bursting from its hull. When she spoke again, her voice carried the weight of a forgotten species. And we will not fall today. The ship fired its first counterattack. A beam of pure white energy that split the darkness of space in two. The Harvester turned. The battle for the galaxy had begun. The white beam from the human vessel cut through space like a burning line of truth, striking the Harvester directly in its core. For the first time since it awakened, the ancient machine hesitated. Its metallic limbs curled inward, absorbing the impact, but cracks of bright red energy spread across its armor. Kava felt the force of the attack in her mind. It wasn't just a weapon, it was her. The vessel responded to her thoughts, her fear, her anger, her will. And the Harvester felt it too. A deep mechanical scream echoed through space, carrying no sound but shaking the vessel's hull like thunder. Talon stumbled as the chamber lights flickered wildly. Kava, what's happening? Kava's eyes, still glowing white, focused on the massive shadow outside. She was no longer just seeing the battle, she was seeing through the vessel's sensors, through layers of calculations, through the memory of old human strategies. The Harvester is adapting, she said in a voice doubled with the ancient human presence. It's changing its armor. It will counter our next attack. The hologram stepped closer, its form trembling from the strain. You must think faster than it can evolve. The vessel is powerful, but it needs your decisions. Kava clenched her hands as the Harvester's limbs spread open, forming a giant ring around its core. Energy began gathering inside, dark, swirling, violent. The hologram gasped. It is charging a reality shear. If that attack hits us, we won't survive. Talon looked out the window, horror tightening his face. What do we do? Kava didn't answer at first. She reached deeper into the link. She felt the vessel's systems opening to her like doors unlocked one by one. She saw its reactor, its hidden weapons, its ancient defenses built by humans long gone. There was one system blinking in red. Quantum rift jump, damaged. Risk, total dissolution. Talon saw it too on the HUD. You can't use that. We'll be torn apart. Kava's voice was steady and cold. If we stay, we die. If we jump wrong, we die. But if we cut through the rift at the right moment. The human voice inside her finished the thought. We appear behind the Harvester and strike its weakness. The hologram bowed its head. That was the human strategy. One of the last they used before vanishing. Kava didn't hesitate. Talon, brace yourself. The Harvester's reality shear expanded, glowing like a black hole consuming starlight. Talon dove behind the console. Kava, if you can hear me, don't lose yourself. Kava closed her eyes. Outside, the Harvester fired. A sphere of twisting darkness burst forward, ripping apart space itself. Kava felt the attack coming. At the exact millisecond before it hit, she pushed every shred of her mind into the quantum rift system. The vessel screamed through the fabric of the universe. Reality bent. The view shattered into 1,000 lines. And then... silence. They reappeared behind the Harvester. Talon gasped for breath as his vision steadied. Kava, you did it. But Kava did not open her eyes. The glow around her deepened. The hologram pointed. Look! Directly in front of them, the back side of the harvester revealed a massive, pulsing cluster of red core tubes, its regenerative heart. Its weakness. Kava raised her hand. Energy gathered at the vessel's center, white, bright, pure, more powerful than anything it had fired before. The harvester turned, shocked. Kava's voice echoed with thunder. This ends now. She fired. A beam erupted. A column of white lightning. So powerful it lit the dark side of the galaxy. The beam pierced the harvester's core. Red cracks spread across its body like breaking glass. The harvester's scream ripped through space as its limbs flew apart, its core bursting open in a storm of burning fragments. Talon shielded his eyes. Kava! It's destroying itself. But the hologram did not celebrate. It looked at the dying harvester with a hollow expression. This was only the first, it whispered. The weakest. The scout. Kava's eyes dimmed as she slowly returned to herself. Pain rushed into her head. She fell to her knees, breathing hard. Talon rushed to her, lifting her up. Kava, stay with me. Are you hurt? She shook her head. I'm fine. Just tired. The hologram turned toward both of them. You must understand, the swarm will feel the harvester's death. They will come with thousands more. Some far bigger. Far stronger. Kava leaned against Talon, catching her breath. How long do we have? She asked. The hologram raised a hand. The star map appeared. Lights blinking red. Not one, not two. But hundreds of signals igniting at the edge of the galaxy. The hologram's voice dropped to a whisper. They are already on their way. Talon's face went pale. Can we stop them? Kava stood up slowly, her eyes still glowing faint white. We stopped one, she said. We learned how they fight. She looked at the growing swarm signals on the map. And now, they will learn how we fight back. The human vessel hummed with rising power around her. As if answering her determination. Far outside, in the dark fields of space, the next wave of machines began to wake. The real war was coming.